promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut. I promise I'm gonna make a scene. Got lights, cameras, action, but I promise that I won't be seen.
My name is Theodore.
My name is
and I
Markeisha.
am about 8
I'm
years
Mariana,
old.
You 8?
and I'm 10.
9 years.
I was diagnosed with
3 years
anxiety,
old.
depression, and
Okay, do you
PTSD.
recall what happened 6 years ago?
Okay.
Yes.
I got taken away.
I don't really remember.
It felt like I was fighting a losing battle.
I felt sad, mad.
If there was one thing that you could tell a child going through the same
I just
thing,
wanted
okay,
to
what's
fit
the
in.
hardest part about it? Easiest part to deal with?
There was a lot of obstacles, but I overcame them.
Children, just know that it will be alright.
Before I begin telling my story, I must give warning that this story may potentially trigger some people who have similar background stories and current situations. I cried reflecting on the past event. However, if we can find the strength to get through this story, you may find some valuable information throughout my story. If you don't think you can, I understand, and you don't have to endure the agony, guilt, or the emotions. Just remember you're strong and will come out victorious if you never give up. You can still leave questions in the comments, and I will try to help you even if you can't continue. You got to be careful what you say when someone tells you they are going through depression. It takes a lot for a person to talk about it, and your response might be the one to push them over the edge. I began to shut down again. Then Kai came into the conversation with a suggestion to take him to the Humane Society, saying I wouldn't have time for him with 2 jobs. I understood the concern, but I had no plans to get rid of Kai. I'd rather sleep with him in my car rather than give him to someone else. About this time, there were many men pursuing my affections, including a married one. I wasn't interested in any of them. I was only thinking about getting my children back. I had no time for romance and potentially disappointing relationships. At the factory job, there were a couple, but at the service station, there was a plethora. Oh, how I wish they would go away. I just wanted to get my job done and leave. But there was one in particular that came in every single morning between 2 and 4 a.m. There was something familiar about him, but I'd never met him before. He'd usually come in, eyes usually lowered or looking away, shy but still managing a few words, some compliments, some mentioning me being female and working late nights alone. And he'd buy alcohol, but say it was for different family members like his uncle or dad. Then he'd talk about how he just got off of work. Sometimes when other men were in the store shooting their shots at me, I noticed him in line with a glint of jealousy in his eyes, annoyed with whoever was talking to me. But I was still trying to figure out how he was familiar, but we never met prior to this. Eventually he'd start staying the remainder of the night with me at the job, only stepping outside for the hour I had to do COVID cleaning until I was no longer required to lock the doors. He would chat with me as I did my work, watch videos on his phone as I took care of customers, and help me put the truck up. I'd often joke they should put him on payroll. When the next shift would come in, he'd walk up to his home up the street. I knew he liked me from the beginning. I knew he was interested, but I just kept doing what I was doing. He was cool, but what was the connection? When I began to feel like things were changing, and after the hotel discussion and the Kai conversation, I began to never want to go home. But I wanted Kai to be somewhere safe until I could afford a room that allowed pets. I talked about these concerns with Kai to the familiar stranger, and he suggested that I bring the bunny to him until I could do that, and I did. Every morning he'd either send me pictures or I'd go visit before I went to the factory. Kai would always liven up when he heard my voice, and the feeling was mutual.